Allen Iverson was the anchor of the offense. Well, back when teams were scoring like 96, 97 points a game, averaging 25 to 30 points a game. Brought his team to the finals and got a dub over Shaq and Kobe. That year, they went undefeated in the playoffs. He dropped 48 points in the NBA Finals. In his NBA Finals debut, he basically dropped a 50 ball. You gonna tell me Steve Nash was better? Hell no. Hell no. Shooting guard, Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson, basically, at the height of his career, nobody would ever tell you that Steve Nash was better than Allen Iverson. I think KG would be better than Giannis in this style of NBA because KG had a little bit of handle. KG had that. Matter of fact, KG better than Giannis. I don't know why I'm tripping. KG better than Giannis. KG has a better shot. He had better handle. He's damn near just as good on defense. Only thing he don't have over Giannis is that Giannis can attack the rim a little bit better, but KG got post moves, footwork, mid-range. He probably can hit the 3-ball and step back a couple feet or a foot or two. Yeah. Yeah. Can you believe they told me that I would never make it? Now we smiling in their faces, smiling in their faces. Hey everybody, my name is Tyler Rose. Welcome back to Tyler Rose TV. If you're new to the channel, come on in, get yourself something to eat, get yourself something to drink. Hit that subscribe button, hit the bell. For today's video, we got something special for you guys. I feel like this week has been a slow week. I feel like there's not been much topics that I'm like truly passionate about speaking about, but this one right here, it kind of slipped me. Got a lot going on right now in my personal life, and I definitely wanted to get on video still with all the stuff that's going on. I won't get into details. Just pray for me and my family. But anyhow, I got this ranking going on. They got this ranking going on with CBS. So CBS Sports did a top 25 NBA players of the 21st century. And what they did is decided to have like 3 all-NBA teams of the quarter century. So without further ado, let's list them. And you're going to get into why exactly I don't agree with some of them and who I think got snubbed and who should be placed. Like I said, hit that subscribe. Let's get into the video. Let's go with first team. So first team, I'm going to read off who's on it. We got Stephen Curry at point guard. Shooting guard, the late, great Kobe Bean Bryant. Small forward, LeBron James. Power forward, Tim Duncan. And center, this was the controversial part here. We have Nikola Jokic over Shaq. Now, I'm going to read to you what they said about the reasons why they decided to go with, the All-NBA quarter century team, go with, Jokic instead of Shaq. It says Nikola Jokic is a better basketball player now than Shaquille O'Neal ever was. That's not a knock on Shaq, on obvious all-time great, and obvious all-time great. And the next guy on the list, Jokic, is just another level in the terms of everything he brings and the overall impact. 5 straight years, Jokic has finished either first or second in MVP voting. He won 3 of them and has been the best player in the world unequivocally for the last half decade. The championship he won with the Nuggets doesn't have a single all-star teammate on his roster, and it's a greater accomplishment than any championship Shaq ever won alongside Kobe Bryant or Dwayne Wade. By the time Jokic's career is over, which will be largely regarded as the greatest big man to ever play. That is big. That is huge. Huge. Okay, let's get into the second team here. So that first team, I would definitely still put Shaq there, but you're going to get into that in a second. Let's go to second team. We have Chris Paul at the point guard. We have shooting guard Dwayne Wade. We have small forward Kevin Durant, power forward Giannis Antetokounmpo, and in center, then you have Shaq. We're going to get into that in a second. And we're going to go with the last one. So we have point guard on the third team overall is Steve Nash. We have James Harden. We have Kawhi Leonard. And we have Dirk Nowitzki. And then at center, we have Dwight Howard. Steve Nash, James Harden, Kawhi, Dirk, Dwight Howard. Here is where I would switch things up. So even though Nikola Jokic does more on the basketball court on the offensive end, I mean, Nikola Jokic defensively is not the greatest neither. Let's not act like he's, complete. He's a great offensive player, great all-around player, but he does lack on one end. And I'm not saying Shaq is any greater. I just think if we're talking about a quarter century, so the year 2000 to 2025, Shaq, those first like 5, 6 seasons, Shaq won 4 championships. And he only won 1 MVP, but in my eyes, I still think that Shaq was more of a dominant force. Therefore, I would edge Shaq on the all-time great list over Nikola Jokic. I think Nikola's playing in a time where there's not much people who are even going to be able to defend the guy. And I'm not saying that he's not going to be great if you put him in a different era, but I'm just saying it's almost like, I'm not going to say his numbers are inflated because that's crazy. I'm just going to say if you're playing in an era where there's not any centers, he's more of a traditional center that can stretch the floor, but he still plays for most of the majority of the time when he's back against the basket. If you're not playing against anybody who plays that style and they don't defend anybody, you're playing against a bunch of fours that are just stretch big fours, then I can't sit there and say that you're a better player than Shaq because you dominate the game in this era. So that's where I'll go with that. Everything else on this all-time list, the first team, I'm straight. Let's get into the second team here. So the second team, Chris Paul, Dwayne Wade, Kevin Durant, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Shaquille O'Neal. From the year 2000 to 2025, I'm still gonna go. I'd go with Jason Kidd over Chris Paul. I'll put Chris Paul on the third team, but that's for the next part. The reason why I'll put J. Kidd over Chris Paul is because of this. Jason Kidd, basically, 2 back-to-back seasons where he led the Nets to the NBA Finals. Of course, he lost to the Lakers. Then he lost to the Spurs, which were all-time great teams, like all-time, all-NBA great teams. Whereas the teams are scrubs. He didn't lose to no scrubs in the finals. He lost to a great team. He wasn't playing the freaking Jimmy Butler Heat. Like, this was Tim Duncan and Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant. This was a big thing, all right? So Jason Kidd did that. Then in 2002, he finished second in MVP voting. I just think that what he brings to the table, Jason Kidd, as far as a floor general, as far as how he impacts winning, even though Chris Paul is up there, I'm gonna give the edge to Jason Kidd from what I've seen and from what I've seen him do. And of course, he won an NBA championship, and it was a pivotal piece in 2011 when he smacked LeBron. Next, so for this second team, I don't have a problem with Chris Paul or J. Kidd. I would just edge it more to Jason Kidd. As far as Dwayne Wade goes, good. Kevin Durant, good. Giannis, even though Giannis, I think he got a couple MVPs, got a championship. From 2000 to 2025, KG still played. I'm a big KG fan. I think KG's a better basketball player than Giannis Antetokounmpo. I'm just being honest. And if you want to say he dominated in those years, I know KG won the MVP in 2004. I know KG had the #1 record. I know he eventually won a championship, but KG did play in the West. The West was stacked, and that is what it is. You can't make any excuses. I would say it's arguable to put KG in that situation. If you say Giannis, you say KG. I don't think it's crazy, but I am a big KG fan, and I feel like if KG played in this era and he grew up, in the 90s, and he was born in the 90s, I should say, he definitely grew up in the 90s. If he was born in the 90s and he played in this style of NBA, I think KG would be better than Giannis in this style of NBA because KG had a little bit of handle. KG had that. Matter of fact, KG better than Giannis. I don't know why I'm tripping. KG better than Giannis. KG has a better shot. He had better handle. He's damn near just as good on defense. Only thing he don't have over Giannis is that Giannis can attack the rim a little bit better, but KG got post moves, footwork, mid-range. He probably can hit the 3-ball and step back a couple feet or a foot or two. You know what I'm saying? Based on his era. Hear me out. And of course, I'll put Jokic here. I'll put Shaq on the first team All-NBA. Now, the last and maybe the most controversial, in my opinion, is Steve Nash and James Harden. So, of course, I already said that Jason Kidd is my guy. I would put J. Kidd where Steve Nash is, and then I would take James Harden off, and I would put Allen Iverson. Or I would put Allen Iverson for Steve Nash and leave James Harden. However, since AI was technically a shooting guard, basically in a one man's body, I would say Jason Kidd, #1 on my point, shooting guard, Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson, basically, at the height of his career, nobody would ever tell you that Steve Nash was better than Allen Iverson. I don't care how many MVPs you have. You are not a better basketball player than Allen Iverson. Pound for pound, what he left on the table, going out there, playing every game like his last, throwing his body at freaking big dudes, no diddy, in the paint, and every time just going to attack and relentlessly attacking. There's nobody that did it better than Allen Iverson. At that height, at that weight, during that era, the physicality, he was a football player. That boy was tough. You're not going to sit there and tell me Nash was better than AI. And if you want to talk about what he did, Steve Nash, yeah, he got 2 MVPs, but he never been in the NBA Finals. Allen Iverson was the anchor of the offense. Well, back when teams were scoring like 96, 97 points a game, averaging 25 to 30 points a game. Brought his team to the finals and got a dub over Shaq and Kobe. That year, they went undefeated in the playoffs. He dropped 48 points in the NBA Finals. In his NBA Finals debut, he basically dropped a 50 ball. You gonna tell me Steve Nash was better? Hell no. Hell no. Hell nah. So there you have it. That's what I would change when it comes to this. And even with Harden, right? Like I could put Harden there, or you know, for AI for Harden, right? Harden, what did he do? He won MVP just like AI. But guess what? When Harden was by himself and he wasn't with Russ and KD, he didn't go to the finals. He came close, but he didn't go to the finals. And he didn't really contribute to winning. And there's way too many games where James Harden disappears in the fourth quarter for him to be put over AI. Based off what? AI was drafted in 96. So AI and Kobe and Duncan and a lot of these dudes, Shaq, I would say Shaq played the most years on this list in the 90s. But when it comes to Duncan, when it comes to AI, Kobe, they played the most of their dominant years. Their best seasons were the 2000s. So if we're going to go by that, let's not act like Steve Nash's reign was more than AI. AI was dominant from the moment he stepped into the NBA until about the last year with Denver. That was a good 12, 13 year run of all NBA, of leading this team, leading the NBA in scoring titles, MVPs, championship run. Like, let's not act like that don't count for nothing, bro. We ain't gonna do that. We not gonna do that. All right. And like I said, Harden, he wouldn't have 2 other guys behind him. He didn't get to the NBA Finals. He choked off mad games. I'm never gonna put Harden over AI. I'm sorry. You can say what you want. You can fight me, bro. I'm never gonna put Harden over AI. He got 1 MVP just like AI did, but AI showed me more. He showed me more heart. He showed me AI's the reason why I play ball, bro. Listen, AI is the guy. We ain't gonna do that. All right. AI should be on this list. His impact, his cultural impact, the way he changed the game. People wear sleeves now because of this dude. The dress code was changed because this dude changed the game of basketball. James Harden's a good player, but he didn't have the impact like AI. He didn't have it. I'm just gonna be honest with you. So yeah, you guys seen the lineups. What do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts down below. My name is Tyler. It's Tyler Rose TV. I'm gonna see you guys on the next video.